All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I am Is There No One Else, and I am on week 3 of the PTS for the new Flames of Ambition DLC. As is always the case with these videos, guys, they will be subject to change in the future. There's a chance that the content I bring out now might be different in 6 weeks, so keep that in mind. If it doesn't look the same, that's what happened. But yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the champion point system. Wanted to talk about my thoughts a little bit further because we're a little bit deeper into the PTS and we can go through all those things. I need to do a lot more testing. I want to do a champion point test of like the scaling effects of 810 versus 1500 versus like 2500 and max CP. But the problem is I only have 810 CP because I'm on a stock character. So I cannot do that. I'm going to ask around to the Discord to see if somebody wants to help me go through those numbers so I can kind of show the differences and disparity between damage taken and damage dealt depending on the CP trees that you're going into. But I can't do that this day, so I apologize. That's going to be a little bit more in depth. That's going to take some time. Hopefully I can find somebody that can help me out with that. But anyways, wanted to talk about the CP tree and the changes that are coming forward and kind of go through my thoughts after looking at it and messing around with it a little bit more. But we're going to go through into the blue tree right now, and I already have a champion point system allocated. I'm on a stamina nightblade right now, so I'm just adjusting some things. You have to start, it's the same thing as before. You have to start in one area and branch out further. So you start here, you put 10 points into stamina, and then you can branch into this area. So you get more offensive penetration, increase your chance to apply a martial status effect, grants 100 weapon and spell damage to martial attacks by having all that. If you go up here, these are when you start getting into your equipped items. Increase your damage done with single target attacks by 2% per stage. Stamina Nightblade's all single targets, so I max this out so I get 10% more damage there. Increase your critical damage and critical healing done by 2% per stage, so I got 6% more crit damage here. Nightblade's full stat. Nightblades, like what I run, are not running Malakath, so this would be something to invest in. If you are running Malakath, you wouldn't. Increase your critical damage done by 3% per stage against enemies you're flanking, so 9% crit damage there with 10% with 6% there. Increase your crit chance by 160 per stage. I just put 10 points in here to get to these. Now, as you guys can see, there's different trees, and I'm not going to go through them all again. I have a different video for that. I'll provide a link in the description if you guys want to go check that out and see them all. The numbers have changed a little bit, but you can only equip 4 of these. So you see how it says, like when it says backstabber, look right above it, it says equipped. You have to equip these passives to get them on your bar. You can't just throw points in here and expect you get it, or else you're just wasting points. So if I put points into Occult Overload here, hypothetically, and I didn't put it on my champion bar, it wouldn't apply. So you have all these different things that you can put into, but the thing is for each tree you could only have 4. And so what I'm seeing here is, in order to get some of the really good passives, this one looks okay depending on what you're doing. Wrathful Strikes, 33 weapon spell damage to your damaging abilities per stage. So you can have like 160 weapon damage with this. When you deal direct damage, you heal for 7% of the damage. So like this one, you need 50 points for it. And I'm at 810 right now. In order to get here, you need quite a few champion points. There's some interesting ones down here. Reduces your damage taken by area of effect attacks by 2% per stage. This would actually be quite nice, especially if you're fighting against ball groups and whatnot. This would be very valuable. While you have a shield or frost staff equipped, your spell and physical resistance is increased by 1900. Okay. Deal 220 magic damage when they deal you with a direct damage attack. You begin bracing, you gain a damage shield for 5140. The coolest one is that reduced damage taken. Reduce damage from your damage over time attacks by 2% per stage, which could be valuable on some specs, but since we have Cloak, I'm not going to put it into there. Riposte is always interesting, but Last Stand is one I would definitely want to get, personally. Last Stand, when you take damage below 20% health, you gain Major Heroism, granting 3 ultimate every 1.5 seconds for 9 seconds. This effect can occur once every 9 seconds. So if you're getting bursted, you can get Major Heroism, which I think is kind of cool. I don't think it's needed on a build, but you would need a lot of champion points to get there. So you see all these, and you can only equip 4. And so I got these 2 crit ones over here. I have this one over here. And then I have the healing one equipped over here. Increases your healing done with area of effects by 2% per stage. I was an idiot, guys. I didn't realize that these 2 trees were ones you also had to equip, and I had points. So I would reassign these 2, and I put the full 40 in here. That way your vigors are hitting for harder. And yeah, that would be my 4 equipped things. If I wanted to not do as much damage, I could unequip these. Let's say I want to increase my healing, because healing's my biggest issue. I could take out these damage ones, and obviously, like, whatever, I wouldn't do as much critical damage, but then I'd have more healing on this end. So when you look at the champion tree, you're like, oh my gosh, there's a lot, but a lot of the stuff you can only equip 4. So you need to figure out which 4 passives you want the most for your specific build and build into that tree, especially starting out. When you're at 810 CP, it's going to be hard to get to some of these trees. Once you get the 4 passes that you want, then in my opinion, you start stacking into stuff like this. So you stack into your trees here, you come down here, and then you can get increases your healing taken here. You can get your critical resistance here if you need it. Damage, reduces damage taken from martial or physical attacks, reduces damage taken from magical attacks. So yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff where you can reduce damage that you don't have to apply in the CP tree. You see how none of this says equipped? So this is just stuff I think this one is. Yeah, so I wouldn't use this one because I already have my 4. But yeah, I would apply points here since we can. And then there's trees over here, like, actually that's it. Yeah, you have to add into these also. So yeah, when you're looking at it there, you really have to decide which 4 you want. And there's going to be some broken aspects of them, guys. Like, there just is. I'm going to do a bunch of testing myself and try and figure some stuff out. But there's so many different combinations. Like, there's so many different combinations you can run right now for different builds, different layouts, different classes. I can't look at it all and be like, oh, this is definitely going to be abused right now, which is probably a good thing. Like, it's good that some of the stuff that could be abused right now is a bit hidden. So yeah, but yeah, we go into the warfare tree there, and you have to find your 4, and then it's the same thing over here, and it's going to be the same thing in every tree. But the red tree had a bunch of interesting stuff in the past. The big one that was concerning was this one. It was like 100 health recovery for every 10 ultimate you have, so you could get up to 5,000 health recovery. Now it's 1,500. So you get up to 1,500 health recovery if you have 500 ult. I don't know if it's going to be as good. I mean, it's not bad. It's definitely something that you could invest into. Obviously, I have points invested into it. But yeah, you have sword and board stuff for bash damage. While under the effects of crowd control immunity, increase the amount of damage you block by 2%. There's some interesting stuff with crowd control immunity. And that's the first thing I noticed when I was looking at it, now that the health recovery was adjusted. I know I'm kind of ranting here, but here we go. While under the effects of crowd control immunity, you take 2% less damage per stage. So under the effects of crowd control immunity is, let's say you're 1vxing, and you have that Magica Templar randomly throwing a javelin at you. Well, once you CC break, you're going to be under crowd control immunity. You take 10% less damage while you have it. This seems pretty good to me. If you pop in a movable pot, which I would with this type of CP layout, you take 10% less damage for the entire duration. You also have increased the duration of crowd control immunity by 3% per stage, so you get 15% increased duration on crowd control immunity, which isn't a ton. What is it? It's like 12 to 15 seconds on, like, in a move pot. So you add an extra second when you CC break, you add like another 2 seconds or 3 seconds after in a move pot. This stuff's interesting. So this increases the duration that I have 10% less damage taken. So if you time it right, like somebody javelins you and you CC break, you know you have 6 or 7 seconds, especially with this, you're gonna have like 7 seconds. You count down to like 6 or 7, and then you pop your pot. So then you have roughly 22-ish seconds with 10% damage mitigation. So that combination looks pretty good to me. That's why I have it equipped. I'm not saying it's the best. There's a bunch of really good stuff here. Like, I've been trying to say this a few times, but there's a bunch of really good champion points, but you have to only, like, if I want Unchained, I need a lot more than 810 in order to get to it, because I have to invest 50 points here in order to get to Unchained, and then I have to invest points there. So it's 100 points for these 2 trees just to get to it. And so I would like Unchained, but I can't get to it right now because I only have 810 CP on this character. But yeah, you could only have 4. And so when you're looking at this, a lot of the vertical progression has changed quite a bit. The vertical progression has changed, like the difference between 400 CP and 810 CP in the CP 1.0 system, there's like a 20 to 30% damage difference. I want to say it's like roughly 30%. The amount of sustain you need to, like if you're fighting an 810 and you're running the same build, I want to say it's like 30% with half CP. And this, it's all situationally. Like, it all depends on your character. A lot of this stuff does. Because, yeah, I mean, would you run Shield Master, reduces the cost of your damage shield abilities by 2%? Are you going to run this on a stamina spec? No. A lot of this stuff is going to depend on your spec and how valuable it is. Are you bashing? Are you trying to scale into bash damage? Then maybe, yeah, you want to put points in here. You want to put 40 over there. But overall, there's some strong stuff, but yeah, you can only have 4. And so a lot of the stuff that where it benefits you to have more CP, reduce the cost to break free, you need to have, like, you're going to gain 310 more cost reduction on reduced cost on break free. 310, which is, it's something. It's definitely better than nothing, but it's not a crazy amount. Reduce the cost of roll dodge by 120 stamina per stage. So you get 3 stages here. So I needed to get another 25 points in order to get 240 cost reduction here. Stuff like this that you don't have to equip, more max health. This is also going to be quite nice. But all this stuff is, you know, things that you'll get at 1200 CP. Now, I'm not going to really go into the green tree. Well, we can go into the green tree really quickly and talk about it. But most of the green tree is PvE. And so if you're trying to figure out things to do for PvP, it's pretty easy. Reduce your fall damage taken by 7%. Your weapon enchants decay 20% slower. Increase your mount speed by 2%, which is in the one that I have equipped. And then Steed's Blessing, increase your out of combat and movement speed by 0.4% per stage. 20% more move speed while you're out of combat. I thought that'd be pretty valuable when you're riding from keep to keep, or you know, running around from area to area. Always being able to move in between keeps is quite nice. So you have some sneak stuff and you have some other PvE stuff, but this is just how I would do it for PvP. Overall, you're seeing some very marginal gains at more CP overall. And I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna try and find somebody to do the numbers on the differences in damage taken and everything. There's some videos out there. I know Nephis did a video where he was showing what you need for min-max CP, and you need around 2200. And he's talking about how you need 2200 min-max CP for PvE in order to also have defensive and offensive capabilities. Because there's a give-take. You see that at 810, I have to sacrifice some things. Here's the thing about PvP though, guys. We're not trying to min-max for optimal trial rotation DPS. Okay? So you have to look at the community. And I'm going to look at Xbox first, because Xbox, everybody started around the same time. People don't have, you know, bot CP farmers. Most people that have been playing for 3 or 4 years have over 1,000 CP. Most of them do. And so I have roughly 1,600. I know most of my friends are in the 1,300 to 1,700-ish range. Some people that have started in the last 2 years, they're at around 1,100. So I get 500 more CP, which means that I'm going to get a little bit more health. I'm going to get a little bit more pen. I'm going to get a bunch of these marginal little things, but it's not so much that it's going to be crazy and you need more. Like, I'm not with my 1,600 CP account, looking out at people in PvP, I'm going to have more CP than most people. And so I don't need to get to 2,200 to min-max my CP for PvE because I have more than people in PvP. Does this make sense? Like, in the land of the blind, the man with one eye is king. Like, have we heard this saying before? Like, you have to look at your it's not your CP relative to min-maxing your character for trial DPS and running dungeons. You have to look at your character relative to the other characters you're fighting. And so on PC, I've heard, like, some people told me that there's like one guy they know of that has 3,600 CP, and they were probably you know, they've been grinding for a while. They've been around for 6-7 years, and yeah, they got 3600 CP. They're going to have a slightly stronger character. But I've 1vx'd on a 400 CP character. I've 1vx'd on a 300 CP character, and I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but from what I'm looking at, that disparity is way larger than the disparity in differences that's going to be from like 1000 CP to 3600. And I could be wrong. I'm going to go back. Like I said, I'm going to try and test this stuff. If I'm wrong, I'm going to be like, hey guys, I'm a dumbass. But that's what it looks like to me. But here's the thing. I'm bouncing back and forth because I feel like we need to talk about this. Everybody's going to look for excuses. They are. And they're going to say, oh, this person has more CP than me. CP's busted, blah, blah, blah. And that's why I want to do the math to show the differences and compare things. The CP, in my opinion, isn't going to make a huge difference. Like the utility stuff of some passives could be very, very nice. Like I said, like some combinations could be really good, and some of them could be hidden behind more experience. But there's going to be a catch-up system. There's going to be a catch-up system to get more in line with other people, and it's just one of those things where it's like, we're all kind of in the same boat. And yeah, like there's so many people that have said, like, why would you go into champion point PvP right now? Well, if you're on PS4 or Xbox and you're around 1100 and somebody has 1200 CP, they have 100 more champion points than you. So 100 more champion points is 33 per tree, okay? So 33 per tree means that they're putting points into here. So they have another 280 max health for 10 points there. They have reduced cost of sprint, baby, or they have reduced cost of roll dodge. So there's 33 points right there. If we go into the blue tree, what do they have over here? Well, we go down here, they have, what? 10 more points here. They have 1% more healing taken here, guys. And then we go over here, and they have increased your chance to apply martial status effects. So we'll put 20 points here. So there's your 30 points there. So they have a 60% chance to apply a martial status effect over 30. And then over here, they can collect resource nodes faster than you. That's what 100 points gives you, roughly. So when you're looking at it, yes, their characters are going to be slightly stronger. They are. But when I say slightly, I mean it slightly. So, yeah, when I see it for PvP, I'm not too worried about a CP grind. PvP and PvE trial runs are two completely different things. Now, if those PvEers that are going to grind CP for the next couple of months to get to min-maxed CP all of a sudden start coming into PvP, and instead of fighting somebody at 1400 CP, you're fighting people at 2200, then maybe you might consider grinding CP to catch up. Maybe. Like I said, I'm going to look at the numbers and I'm going to compare stuff at that point. Maybe at that point, then you're just like, okay, the disparity is a bit much. I'm going to have to go into Skyreach for a bit. Okay. Like, I mean, like I said, I think the catch-up system is going to be solid. I wouldn't really worry about it if you're a PvPer. So that's how I kind of view it. Obviously, I very well could be wrong, and this could come back to bite me in the ass. But yeah, speaking of biting me in the ass, if you guys have like a higher champion point character, I would love to do this test. And I think what is the PTS on PCEU? So I think I need a PCEU account. If you have 1600 CP, 2000, the more the better. So that would be beneficial so that I can get this test done and we can do some numbers. It's just going to be an hour of basically you attacking me with one skill and me attacking you with one skill. We'll just compare the differences. So I know it's super boring, but it would help out. I would appreciate it. But yeah, I'm going to end this video here. Hopefully it was informative. Hopefully we went through some fun stuff. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day.